So as we can see that form 16 has been read by the software perfectly, right? Now let's go to there. Right. Now, income sources. Now, in income sources, there are a couple of things that we can see, right? First of all, we can see what is the name of the company that you are working with, what is the deductions and everything we can see. Now, over here, there is this option wherein you can input the details if it is not caught in the form 16. So sometimes it may so happen that HRA, whatever amount of HRA you have claimed, uh, it was not captured in form 16 because you could not submit the details, you could not submit the income proofs at that point of time when the window was open. Now, uh, for other things, for example, LTA also, and any other deductions, those could not be captured. Now, over here in this form 16, these boxes are editable. Therefore, okay, right. So again, if you have any HRA exemption, uh, you can input the details over here as well. Now, over here, I would like to mention one very very important thing that right. All right. As I was saying that you can input the details, you can input the details of your name, date of birth, everything over here, and other details will need to be go over identification and contact pages, your phone number, email ID, etc., etc. Furthermore, over here you need to input the details of your bank. Now, inputting the bank details is absolutely mandatory and required because, number one, in case you are in a refund position, in that case the refund amount will come to that bank account, right? And furthermore, one thing you have to remember that whatever bank details that you are providing, it needs to be pre-validated first. Now, until and unless you are pre-validating, the amount cannot be given back to you. Therefore, please make sure you are inputting the bank details which are already pre-verified in the income tax portal. Then you are supposed to declare whatever bank accounts that you are holding in your income tax return. They can come under the secondary banks list. Now, after inputting the form 16, you can simply just go in there and check for the details. Now, over here, salary is segmented into various but basic salary, HRA component, LTA component, and whatnot. So that you can input the detail based on the form 16. And if your form 16 does not have HRA component, right, just because you missed the deadline to input the details, in that case, in the box over here, you can compute the actual HRA computation exemption amount and input the details. Now, over here, I would like to reiterate one thing that if you are under the impression that the entire amount of rent that you are paying can be claimed as deduction, that is not correct, because there are certain computation that goes on to determine what will be your HRA exemption. So there are three items, three figures that we need to compare. Whatever is the lesser out of these three will be given to you as HRA exemption amount. Now, first of all, the first figure that we are going to see is the actual HRA component of my salary. Number two is 40% of the basic or 50% of the basic, depending upon the city that you are staying. If you are staying in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, or Chennai, in that case, 50% of the basic will need to be seen. And if you are staying in any other city, it may be Bangalore, it may be Pune, or Noida, Gurgaon, whatever it may be, it will be seen that 40% of the basic. And finally, the last figure, that is whatever the amount of rent that you are paying minus 10% of the basic. Now, out of these three figures, whichever is the lesser, that will be given to you as deduction. So, if you are paying, let's say 30,000 or 20,000 rupees as rent, this entire amount of 20,000 rupees may not be given to you as HRA exemption, because there is a computation that goes on to determine what will be actual HRA exemption in your case. Now, from there, all the deduction, after all the deduction, standard deduction and professional taxes, that will be computed and considered. Now from there, we can go to any other details. Say for example, if you have a home loan going on, right? In that case, you can simply, and again you forgot the detail, forgot to upload the detail of that home loan. In that case, you can simply edit the amount over here, right? For example, you need to input the amount of interest that you have paid for this property. And finally, if you have any pre construction period interest, right, while the house was under the construction, in that case any amount of accumulated amount can be claimed. Now I would like to go through the home loan interest deduction component once again very quickly. So in the year of completion, you can, from the year of completion of the house property and you start possession of that house property, the entire amount of interest can be claimed. However, if the house was under the construction and you have paid some amount of interest in that construction period, you cannot claim the amount. However, once the house is completed and you start occupying that house, from there onwards, the amount of interest that you have accumulated can be given to you as deduction over a period of 5 years in 5 equal installments, right? So let's assume for this year you have paid a interest of 1 lakh rupees, and assuming the house was completed in 2021 financial year, you have paid around 2 lakh rupees of interest for this entire pre-construction period, right? So also you need to input the details of that house property, for example the address of the house property. As of now, we are assuming that the same house property, the address that we have given is the same house property for which the loan was taken, right? So we are going to input that detail. If the house property is owned, you can input the details. Otherwise, let's just continue, right? So you can see from the income from house property, the amount is already there. There is one entry, right? Now you, if you have any other sources of income, for example interest income, you can simply input the interest income. Most of us already have some sort of savings bank account, right? And we are getting some amount of interest. Again, if the amount is more than 10,000 rupees, then it is taxable in your hand. However, if the amount is lesser than 10,000 rupees, then also you have to declare this amount. Many people are under the impression that since the amount, savings bank account interest amount, is taxable only if it is beyond 10,000 rupees, in that case, in case the amount is crossing 10,000 rupees, then only I have to declare it. But that is not the case. There is no exemption of that nature. The non-taxability part comes in form of deduction. If you have savings bank account interest, firstly you need to include that amount of interest in your tax return, and from that declared income, 10,000 rupees or whatever the amount of savings bank account interest has been earned, whichever is lower is given to you as deduction. Now let's assume there is a bank from which I'm getting an interest, and let's say I'm getting an interest of 12,000 rupees, right? Let's assume I am getting some amount of FD interest as well and inputting the amount. Now if I have received some interest on income tax return, let's put some amount there as well. And from there, we can continue the process, right? We can see we have added some interest from savings bank, from deposit, from the income tax refund. And if we have any other income, for example, dividend, right? We can input the details of that dividend. We can input the details of the name of company, the amount, and when the dividend was received. Also, if you are receiving dividend from any mutual fund, that can also be declared over here in this particular segment. Now, after doing all these things, if you have any capital gain income, you can simply upload the capital gain statement. Now, capital gain statement can be your tax profit and loss statement, or capital gain statement, whatever it may be. You can upload the details over here. Also, if your trader is 5 paisa or Paytm money, you can simply get the capital gains detail from here, because these are linked. And if you are trading with any of these other organization that your brokers are, in that case, you can simply upload their capital gain statement and it will be read automatically. Now, if you are if you are selling off mutual fund units, then definitely these CAMs and K fintech are going to be your depository. And if you uh, pull the details, the capital gains detail from their website, again, all the details from that capital gain statement will be read perfectly. And if the details are not appearing, some of the details are not appearing in CAMS, then definitely it would be appearing in KFintech. Now, if you are uploading the statement from your individual broker, in that case, there might be some problem. So instead of uploading all the mutual fund statement from individual brokers, individual fund houses, instead put the data, download the data from CAMS or KFintech website and upload them, because these two are the main depository of all the mutual funds in India. Some of them go with CAMS, some of them go with KFintech, but among these two, they cover every single one of them, right? Also, if you have any of these capital gain statement, if or any of these organizations capital gain statement, you can simply upload it, right? So you need to just click here, upload the button, and from the drop down you need to select the broker, right? If you are, let's say, selecting Carvi, simply upload the file over here and do that. For your purposes, for your understanding, uh, we have also given out how to step this amount, how to, you know, download this KFintech, so you can simply just check it, right? Once you are inputting, you have inputted everything over here, then you will uh, you'll be taken to up the previous page, right? Right. If you have any business incomes, right? So many of us, what many of us actually do a side consultancy sort of thing, right? In that case, if it is happening, right, in that case you can go ahead and declare that particular income under presumptive taxation under 44 ADA. If you are not aware of it, I'll just go through it very quickly. uh, in case you are taking up any money, right, at least 50% of it should be declared as profit. However, if the money is coming from outside India, the exchange rate, foreign exchange rate, should be very carefully considered, and it should be carefully considered as per Income Tax Act. Whatever the exchange rate the bank are showing, that is not acceptable as per the Income Tax Act. Just remember this thing. Now, once all the details are inputted, we can simply go ahead to the tax filing page. Now, sorry, tax saving page. In tax saving page, all the details of your form 16 will be captured. Now, primarily the employer contribution to provident fund, that is already captured from form 16. If again, because of some issue, you are not able to input the details, submit the details, submit declaration proofs to your employer, then you can again add certain amounts over here as well. Now, if you have made ATC, ELSS contribution, PPF contribution, all those contribution, that amount will be reflected over here. Furthermore, if you are making investment in health insurances, right, for your parents, for yourself, your spouse, that amount can also be added over here, right? Now, as we are, as we have mentioned that the savings bank account interest, if it is more than 10,000 rupees, then you need to declare the entire sum, and 10,000 rupees will be given to you as deduction. Now, over there in the income page, I have reported 12,000 rupees of savings bank account interest, and over here I can see maximum limit is 10,000 rupees. So the detail is automatically fetched from the income page, and at the time of final computation it will only give me 10,000 rupees of benefit. Now, if you are investing in national pension scheme on your own or through your employer, in that case that amount of deduction can be reported over here as well, right? So in case your employer is contributing, it will be coming under ATCCD2. Again, that amount should be available regardless you submit the proof or not in form 16. If you are making contribution to NPS, then you need to submit this detail to your employer so that it can be captured in the form 16. If it is not, if you are missing the deadline, again you can input the detail over here in the box on your own, right? If you are making any other donation, right, if you are making donation to charitable organization, you can add the new donation over here. If you have any education loan, right, you can put the amount over here. Now, for education loan, the amount can be, the interest component can be as high as the actual amount you are paying, because there is no cap as such on interest repayment on education loan. For donation to charitable institute, you need to mention the name of the institute, the amount you are donating. Please remember that cash donation beyond 2 lakh rupees is not considered to be a deductible donation. So uh, if you are making the donation in cash, please try to keep it within 2000 rupees. If you are willing, if you are looking to donate more, then make sure it is coming through UPI or account paycheck or demand draft, uh, any mode other than cash or normal bearer check, right? You need to input the PAN of the donee. Furthermore, the donee must be a 80G approved organization to claim the deduction, right? So the limit of deduction, again, there is a limit placed on the donation amount. If you are donating the money to PM Cares Fund or CM Disaster Relief Fund or Army Personnel's Fund, in that case, without any limit, 100% amount is given to you as deduction. If you are making the donation, if you are making the donation to any other religious or charitable institute, then 50% of deduction is given to you. Furthermore, you have to include the address of the donee, and you will be done on this part, right? Now, there are certain other disclosure that may be required from your end. For example, your residential status. You are a non-resident tax Indian, or you are resident but not ordinary resident. You are holding certain shares of a foreign listed entity, right? Some of us who are working in a MNC organization, they are given RSUs or ESPPs, right? Those need to be declared in respective segments of the income tax return. So if you are holding RSUs, that need to be disclosed in Schedule FA, right? If you are director of an Indian company, then some directorship detail need to be mentioned. For example, your DIN number, the name of the company, the PAN of the company, all these details need to be reported in the income tax return. If your income is more than 50 lakh rupees, in that case, uh, ITR 2 will be filed, number one, and number two, Schedule A, which discloses all your financial particulars, your asset withholding, your asset holding, which includes flat, which includes car, jewelry, insurance policies, shares, etc., etc. That, along with, if you are having any sort of liability in respect of any of those assets, that needs to be disclosed in the income tax return as well, right? So once you do that, you will finally end up in the last final page, wherein you will see all the income tax computation over here. After all the deductions that have been made and everything, there is a favorable position, and from there onwards you can compare and switch regime. Now, Cleartax software that automatically selects the more beneficial tax regime for you, so you don't really have to worry about it. And most importantly, you don't really have to worry about which ITR form you need to be filing, because depending on the sources of income, the form is selected automatically. So you don't really have to, download the utility for ITR 1 and later on realize, no, I could have, or rather I should have filed ITR 2. That should not be the case. The selection process, the casing game has already been done away with for Cleartax users, because based on the input that you are providing, the best regime and the appropriate income tax return form is selected for you. Now, before filing the income tax return, go through the details quickly once again, and after that, you can just go ahead and simply file the income tax return. Now, the filing is yet to start, therefore, we are not really getting the final picture, because once everything is fine, once the filing actually gets started, there will be a button enabled over here which will make you to file your income tax return within due time. Now, this is all about how you can file the income tax return using Cleartax portal. Now, if you have any question, please drop them over here in the chat box. Right. If you have any question, please drop them. Right. If you have any question regarding taxation, please drop them on the chat box. Thank you. Right. So I believe we are at the end of our webinar. Thank you everyone for joining with us. Uh, if there are any technical glitches, then we are really very sorry from our end. Uh, Thank you all for joining with us. Bye. Have a great day.